Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to give you an update on some of the more recent things that I have picked up. I think it's important to check back and let you know how things are going after I have a chance to try them initially. And I will make sure to link down below the videos associated with these products if you wanted to hear my initial first impressions. All right, so one of the things that I have truly fallen in love with is this. This is the Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nudes palette. I have gotten so much use out of this. And there are days that I go for kind of like a more darker, intense look, and I'll use colors out of like these 6 pans here. And days that I like a really super light look, and I'll use like the front half of this palette. And then there are days that I want an all matte look. My favorite shades are 1, 2, 3, 4. These kind of mid-toned nudes. I guess maybe lighter nudes and rosy nudes. These guys here are my favorite ones for just an all matte look. This is such a versatile, beautiful palette. I don't want you to feel like you need it. No, you don't need it. But if you are really a lover of really natural looking eyes with just a hint of sparkle, or you love a really good matte, the mattes in here are super fantastic. I love this a lot. I also love that it's really thin and slim, and you get 16 shadows in here. You get a really nice sized mirror. I feel like everything about this palette is great because it's not big, it's not bulky, it's got a magnetic closure in it. It's the cardboard packaging, great mirror. I mean, like, it's got everything going for it. My only kind of, there are 2 metallic shades in here that are a lot more difficult than the others. And they are the 2 lightest. This one here is called Shimmering Pearl, and this one here is Glimmering Snow. So Glimmering Snow and Shimmering Pearl are the 2 that are more difficult to use because they are a little chunky. The other thing that I have noticed is it looks like, because I do dip my finger in these shadows to pick them up, it does sometimes look like I'm getting some hard pan. I'm not having any problems picking up shades yet, but I might eventually get to that point. And if you've never done this, if you deal with hard pan in any of your products, my favorite thing to do is just take a piece of tape and put it over the pan and then lift it up, and it'll take that top layer of product off, and a lot of time it'll lift up almost all the hard pan. Sometimes I have to do it twice, but I find it's a great way to get back into using a product that I'm not able to get past that hard pan on. And that's one of my favorite tricks if you were dealing with that at all in your collection. I've really been enjoying this palette. I feel like it's a great neutral lovers palette. It does lean a little bit warm and rosy, but you can do all sorts of things with it. And because it is kind of made to go along with the colors in the Too Faced Born This Way line, I think that's what, you know, all these shades out here are shades from their foundation and concealer line, that it's really meant for a wide variety of skin tones, and I feel like it would work remarkably well on a lot of those. Now, being a fair-toned person, all I can tell you is how I like it, and I like it a lot. Next thing I wanted to talk to you about is one of the lipsticks I picked up from Revlon's new Super Lustrous Glass Shine line. I think that the packaging is nice. You'll notice mine is really kind of gummy and gross. This is a pet peeve of mine, that there is so much outside adhesive on the label that when you have to peel it off to be able to separate the lipstick. Now, I know they put it there so that people aren't swatching things in store. I appreciate that. I really do. But it left a lot of adhesive on here. Now, I know it would take just a little bit of like Goo Gone or whatever those things are. I don't have any of those here at home. And it's gonna take a lot of just like scratching and rubbing it off, and I feel like the packaging itself is nice. You've got kind of like this clear plastic, and then where the black is, same thing up at the top, and then you have this nice gold ring all the way around the top. The bottom has not only the number and the name on the bottom, this one happens to be 005 Fire and Ice, but also the color of the lipstick itself. So if you're storing it kind of like with this side up, you can see based on the color of the sticker what you're going to find on the inside. I like that it's packaged in a slimline tube because this is a very moisturizing, very soft lip product. I love that it's glossy. I love that it's sheer, and I love that it is just so comfortable on the lips. It's one of those that goes on easily and beautifully. You can reapply, it touches up well all day long. The one thing I will tell you, the downside to this is if you press too hard, you do end up with product kind of going over where this metal barrier is here, where the tube itself kind of contains the lipstick. If you press too much, it does kind of smush outside of that. Another complaint that I have that I've noticed recently is that if I'm not wearing a lip liner, and not like lip liner and then to fill it in, but just like to line my lips kind of like a barrier, this can feather outside because it is a very soft product. It is a very hydrating product, very emollient. And I can get, since it is kind of a bolder color, it can just kind of slightly start to like go out into the lip line itself. I'm 45. I do have small fine lines around my lips and I'm fine with that, but I want lipsticks that aren't going to feather out that way. And I noticed recently that this started doing that. And sometimes if I'm wearing a lip liner, and maybe it depends on the lip liner itself, certain lip liners don't have that problem for me. I don't have that problem when I'm wearing the Charlotte Tilbury. I have a, what is it, lip cheat in the shade. Let me check here. I have a lip cheat in the shade Kiss and Tell, and this one is very similar in shade. It doesn't go anywhere when I'm wearing this one, but if I'm wearing a different one, I have sometimes worn a Flower Beauty lip liner, it does leave the lip line. So I think it depends on the liner that you're using, and I find that I'm more successful when I'm able to line just the outside of my lips. But because it is a sheer lipstick, you kind of have to be careful how you do that. Otherwise, you're going to get a really harsh line from the liner, and that's not what I'm going for. But I do like this product. This product does kind of remind me of the Rouge Volupté Shine from YSL, the oil and stick formula, which I really love. So the Rouge Volupté Shine is reminiscent. This is very reminiscent of this. This is, I believe, a $38 lipstick. I like that this is also in a slimline tube because you've got that kind of metal casing on the outside. And it's a soft product, but it's not super soft. I do find that the Revlon is much softer. I do find that they're both similarly glossy. Maybe you get a little bit more shine out of the, I don't know. I was going to say maybe you get more out of the Revlon. I'm not sure. So this shine right here is the YSL and this one here is the Revlon, but $38 and this is under 10. I think I got mine for $8 at Walmart. I like both of them. They both are a very nice, comfortable formula. I like that the Revlon does, when it starts to fade on your lips, it fades very gradually and it doesn't leave like a weird line on the outside edge. And I find that also if I'm drinking from a cup, sipping from a straw, you know, eating and I get lipstick on a fork and I'm missing a part of my lipstick like right in the middle, I'm able to kind of either tap it around with my finger or just and kind of share it around what's on there. It moves very easily, but that can be a good and a bad thing. So just so you know, I'm still wearing it. I'm still enjoying it. I especially love this Fire and Ice shade, this kind of really punchy corally red shade. So I have been looking for a lip liner to go along with one of the darker shades that I have from my Lisa Eldridge True Velvet lipsticks. This, by the way, is from Makeup Revolution, and this is the shade Vampire. And so I was hoping this was going to go along with the darkest shade that I had from Lisa Eldridge, and I like it's creamy, it's comfortable, it's nice, it lines my lips really well. It helps everything stay where it's supposed to, but this was not as dark as I was hoping it would be. I think I need something more along the lines of like MAC's Night Moth, because the darkest shade I have from Lisa Eldridge is much darker than this. This, by the way, is really a good companion to the lipstick Velvet Myth. So this is Velvet Myth, and I feel like it goes along really well with the Vampire shade from Makeup Revolution. This was definitely a more affordable lip liner since it is drugstore. I think it's in between the $5 to $7 range. Very, very nice. And it's a great match. I just need to find one that's a little bit deeper for my Velvet Midnight, which is more of like a blackened cherry. And this is more of like a mulberry shade. But I use it with this and I really like it. I'm curious to try out more of these. I recently had an opportunity to pick up some M Cosmetics. I picked up their Heaven's Glow Magic Hour blush. I love this blush. This blush is beautiful. It is a soft kind of peachy shade. You can see it right here. What I love about this more than anything is that it kind of blends with the brush almost into nothing. Now, that sounds bad, but today I think I'm suffering a little bit from clown cheeks. I always over apply blush, which is why when something is softer like this, it's so beautiful. The other thing that's great about this blush is that it has a natural radiance to it. There is a little bit of shine to it, and you can load it up on your brush if you want to. But I feel like as I'm putting this on, and this is not the one I was wearing today, but we'll just put a little bit more on. It has a really pretty, almost pinky shift to it. I don't know if you can see it. The pinky shift that you get in this on the cheeks makes it look more skin-like and not really pink and not really highlighty, but not matte and not glowy. Somewhere in the middle so it looks like that soft skin-like quality. I love this blush. I feel like it's beautiful. It's a perfect shade for me, and I can apply and apply and apply and apply. Blends beautifully, and I never end up with clown cheeks when I'm wearing this. I was wearing a different blush today, but just had to put some on when I opened it up. Definitely love this. And I think what has been a true revelation for me from M Cosmetics is their True Gloss. This is in the shade Moroccan Sunset. Everything I wanted in a gloss and was sure would never be possible is this, that it's not sticky, that it's not goopy, that it doesn't collect in the corners of my mouth and then kind of stick and string. Have you seen that? Oh, I hate it when that happens. And I feel like this feels nice and soft. Is a beautiful color. It's not really a red. It's not really a terracotta. It's not an orange. Somewhere in the middle of all of those. Should probably be doing that with a mirror. I really like this lip gloss because it doesn't really feel like you're wearing anything. It's not heavy. It's not goopy. It wears well on top of things. It wears well by itself. You can really build it up to be fully opaque, or if you want kind of like a lighter, softer wash. It is nice and really glossy. I love this. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful gloss. And to me, I think of it more like a liquefied glossy lipstick than a gloss, because look at that pigmentation. Isn't that just insane? It's fully opaque. It doesn't really have a scent to it. It smells like a makeup product, but not in a bad way. It doesn't smell chemically. It doesn't smell harsh. It's almost like there's no scent, but look at the shine on that. I love this. I did the other day something I didn't think I was going to do. I put it on my lips. I wasn't wearing any makeup, and I was like, oh, I want a little gloss. So I threw some of this on. I was like, oh, and now it makes the rest of me look really washed out. So I dabbed my fingers in on my lips and then just lightly tapped it on my cheeks and blended. The most glorious kind of like terracotta-y orange flush going on. It looked very beautiful, very natural, very light. And then it looked a little bit dewy because it was gloss, but not sticky and not like, if I were to take this, you really don't need a lot, like very little. And I find that when I start doing this, it brings a really pretty like flush without ever being overdone. But it worked really beautifully on the cheeks and on the lips, and it brought just enough color to my face so I didn't look like I was, you know, like I should have been lying in a coffin. One of the most recent things that have arrived is a purchase from Makeup Geek, and I purchased one of their blushes. This is the shade Covet. It's very bright. It's a lot. It's just like, boop, really, really bold. But I find that if I use a light hand, that it blends really beautifully. This is a lot. I feel like it works a lot better when I use a blush brush as opposed to just this. But I can get it to not be too much on my cheeks. I know it doesn't look like this would be the right color for someone my skin tone. It would definitely work on somebody with a richer skin tone so much better than this, but I can get it to work and I really do like it. And it has a slight satin quality to it, and that's what I love. The fact that it's not matte, the fact that it's not completely matte, but it is just a little bit shimmery. I love that, and I do love the tone of this and a more intense blush, sometimes especially moving out of winter into spring. Another thing that I picked up was one of their quads. These are the mini palette quads, and this is, I think, the one called Passion. And these colors are beautiful. So these are the shades right here. They're really, really beautiful and very pigmented. This lighter kind of mustardy shade. These top two shades are very nice, very easy to blend. And then this metallic is a foiled shade. And then the deeper kind of berry tone. They're really pretty. And they make for a gorgeous combination on the eye. But if you look at this metallic shade, and the way the light hits it from every angle, it's just off the hook, crazy insane. I love these shadows. For a long time, I'd been storing my shadow singles like this, just in a magnetic palette. And they would go kind of like, you know, lightest to darkest. The problem I'd been having was that to get a look together, I wasn't going to use just the shadows in here. I needed to open up all of my, and I had like 6 that were this size that were completely full of shadows, and I was never using them. So when I made that last purchase from Makeup Geek, I found these little magnetic quad cardboard palettes for 50 cents each. Isn't this just brilliant? So I took the time to go through and to create quads. These 4 shadows go together. These 4 shadows go together. And I have, I'm not going to be able to lift them all, but I had 10 of these, and I've filled each one up. My one concern was that I wasn't going to be able to easily get the pans out. So before I put them in, here's what I did. I actually took a drill and I drilled a hole straight through the middle. It's just a 1/8 inch bit that I put in there so that when I needed to find out what shade it was, or if I wanted to swap out all the colors in here, I could just push something through the back. And this time I just happened to use this. It's a Brow Stylist Definer from L'Oreal, and the spoolie end fits perfectly straight through the back, and it pops the pans out, and I can pop all of them out. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, just like that, and now it's empty. I thought it was going to be a really great way for me to be able to simplify and to make really kind of easy, fast looks out of only 4 shadows. I have really been loving small sized palettes that have between 4 and 8 shades in them. I feel like the ColourPop 9-pan palettes are like right on the verge of too many shades for me. I have a ton that have more than that. But my favorite palettes and the ones where I feel like I get the most successful look is when there's a limited number of shades. Now, I think I would love this even more was there a mirror in it, but for 50 cents, I think this is a great way for me to be able to store a lot of shadow singles. Like these are all 10 of them here, and to keep them in places where I can see them and can use them. I feel like it was hard when they were all in palettes like this to know what I had and to get a good look without it getting, because there's too many options. And if I opened up like all 5 or 6 of the palettes that had all the colors, warm colors, cool colors, bright colors, bold colors, neutrals, and like 4 that were the exact same. I had 3 peach smoothies from Makeup Geek. I didn't realize I'd purchased it that many times. But now the great thing is, since that color is one that I tend to use a lot, I have it in multiple different palettes. And so I can use it multiple times. Now that I have these guys made up, these 4 shadows go together. These 4 shadows go together. I have a ton of these. And I love that I can go through and open each one of these and know that I can get a successful look and limited look without overwhelming my eye with too many shades. I do that a lot, and I don't want to do that because I feel like muddy eye looks are something that I do when I have too many options. So limiting my number of options this way, and then also being able to easily swap them out and change them if I want to. And if I want to one day go back to putting them all in a giant, magnetic palette, maybe I will. But right now, I've actually used my single shadows more like this than I have in a long time. And I feel like it's almost like getting a whole new eyeshadow palette just by finally using these shades. Oh, and these guys go together and they work really well. So there you go. That's kind of an update on what I purchased. And I feel like anything that helps you better organize your makeup so that you can better use it, I feel like that was worth it. And the $5 that I spent on this little pile right here of little baby palettes, totally worth it. And it's like having 10 new palettes. I really think that the quality of the new Makeup Geek reformulation is really, really nice. And I feel like I've got enough blush, like new blush, that I'm not going to need anything for a while. And I really do enjoy both of them. And makes me happy. And I feel like all the lip products I've been trying, whether they're drugstore or high-end, they've been really great recently. And I feel like a lot of the being happy with the choices that I'm making is taking the time to really think about what I'm purchasing and to do the research beforehand so that I'm not just buying on a whim. And then reminding myself that if I don't like it, I can return it. But I haven't returned makeup in a long time because I've been really careful about what I've been purchasing. I've really stopped the impulse purchase, and that has helped a lot. So let me know if you've been trying anything recently, anything that's new or new to you, and what your thoughts are on it, and if you would recommend it to somebody. I would love to know in the comments down below. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. If you aren't subscribed, would you please? And I'll see you again in my next video. Have a great day. Bye.